up, guys? Doing a TNT. I got a mic, so hopefully you guys can hear me better. I'm gonna try not to yell too much. But we're doing test and tune TNT on some colored Super 7 cars. So we sell these cars individually. We also sell them as an iRock set. So just gonna do some track testing, make sure that everything looks good on that end, and I'll answer your questions throughout the chat, or I'll come back in after the video's done and answer them up for you guys. So looks like we are good to go. We're on the track. I'll clip this thing on and we'll do a few runs and see how the cars are. This one feels great. We'll do red, white, and blue, and then yellow each time. So this version has a balanced arm, and it has the level 10 traction mags in it. So we call this the HB version, which is, it's a hard body version, but it's also comes with the balanced arm. These are really good cars if you like the can motor setup like the SRT and you want to just run a AFX, Tyco, or Lifelike clip on them. They clip right onto these. They do have holes in them if you wanted to add a Lexan body to them, but we always say, if you want to go Lexan racing, might as well just go with the V-spec. But a lot of guys really like the can motor. It does have ceramic magnets in the can motor, so it doesn't have a ton of motor downforce. So it does produce a unique drive. And this is just our base setup. So these things are, they're really good. We've been improving our build process and build notes on them constantly. So they're getting better and better and more consistent, which is what we, that's what we strive for here. So some of these are going to be packaged up as an iRock set. Something to keep in mind on that, because iRock sets or iRock type cars typically run, the white car will be on the white lane, the red car will be on the red lane. I usually don't care much to try to make the cars run the same exact lap time, or at least the way that we sell them, because usually if you're on like the yellow lane and it's on the inside, or if you're on the red lane, to make that car, to tune that car to run the same lap time, if that's what you're going for, typically it takes, a tire setup change and things like that. So we do tell people like, hey, if you buy the iRock set, just realize that you're buying 4 individual cars. Everybody runs the same car on the same lane. So, if one of them runs differently or 2 of them run differently than the others, it's not the end of the world. I mean, obviously if we're running these things and one of them runs like a half a second slow or something like that, we won't send that car out. But I always, right now we're running 3 O's to 3 2's. Like this car is running 3 2's. And there's really, that's a 315, so there's not a lot of reason for me to go in and try to make every car run within 1,000th of a second of itself. So just keep that in mind if you're getting these guys, but we also do sell them individually. A lot of guys will match them up with colored bodies, the same color or whatever, make their own iRock sets. For instance, on this track, there'd be no reason for me to buy the set of 4 if it's only a 3 lane, but you could certainly have an extra, which a lot of guys do that as well. So far, haven't had any that I dislike. They all seem to be ripping pretty good. I'm gonna actually take a sec and see if anybody's on here, so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. Oh yeah, there's people on here. What's happening, guys? Thanks for watching. Doing just some track testing. Spent the whole morning, it's 2 o'clock, 2:05 right now, so I spent the whole morning helping John with some SCDRL stuff, because we had a lot of orders going back with cars going back, and there was a few things that I wanted to look at in the process to try to improve. So we do have most of the cars, everything that had an order placed for it has already been shipped out and picked up today. There's still probably a couple dozen that haven't been picked up yet, or that haven't been ordered yet. So make sure if you do have a car in the SCDRL race and you want that returned to you, you do need to go on the website and request that and pay for the return shipping. So shipping is not taken care of on the entry side, it's taken care of after the race. So, but yeah, just now getting time to test some cars so we can get these guys stocked up for you. So far, so good. We're down to our last 4, so. Hopefully you guys are all having a good Monday. And you can hear the clicking, that's me slapping the throttle. Let me see if, I don't know if my relay might be off too on my controller. Let me see. Nope. So that click is the relay on my controller at full throttle. It bypasses the entire controller, gives the car as much, or the track as much voltage as it will take. So I'm gonna check the tires on this car because I didn't crash any of those cars right there, and I crashed the same car twice. So we're gonna make sure tires are seated correctly. We've been having a problem with that with some of the guys up front. We just went over it earlier today to just try to improve that process of, yeah, you can hear this thing is butter quiet now. So, and it's right there, ran a 301, so no crash. That's what we want. But yeah, usually if they don't handle right or if they are loud, that is the first thing that I will check, is make sure that the tires are on. And even sometimes, I mean, I put them on and I think that I put them on correctly, and then you just pay a little bit closer attention to it, do it again, and magically it's butter. So this car is a little bit loud. I'm gonna just go ahead and do that right off the get-go. But yeah, I'll show you guys what I'm doing here. So I'll go behind the cam so you guys can see here, but putting my nail in there and I'm spinning the tire as I force it over. Doing that on both sides here. Same thing on the front. I'm putting my nail under the tire, in between the tire and the rim, rotating it through like so, and that's all that it takes. So this is the last car in that group. Balanced 5.8 ohm ceramic motor. The motors do work in SRT, so we do have these on the site if you wanted to hop up your SRT or your Tomy Turbo. But yeah, this thing, just everything about it. I mean, 298 right off the get-go. It will hit more RPMs down the straightaway, which that's the first thing, that's the second thing that I hear. The first thing that I hear is there's no tire noise. Second thing, a lot more RPM. The reason for that is because as the tires wobble, it's making the car do this, which is either pulling the pickup shoe off of the rail, which is cutting power, or the back is doing this and it's changing the relationship between the magnets and the tracks, which changes your downforce. And so it goes light, heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, and it's doing all of that at the same time that the front's doing that. So makes a huge difference. Next time we do these, if I find one that I feel like has a wobbly tire, we'll run it on the drag strip, and then we'll fix that and we'll run it on the drag strip again, and you'll see just in 15 feet how much of a difference that makes. But this is the order. They're all sliding around in there, but that's what we got going today. They are done. I'm gonna chop this off, but first I'm gonna answer some questions. Lee says, cool. Frank says, hi, what's up? Dan says, great video, thank you, Dan. Rock says, what's up, how you doing? Frank, we are running Super 7s. And then Rock asked if it's better to have an iRock set for a beginner. You know, that's a great question. Honestly, if you have an iRock set, the cool thing about iRock sets is they could be anything. Typically, I would recommend that you make them out of something that's gonna be durable, something that, especially if you're gonna use them for beginners, don't use hard to find bodies. Typically we make those cars very easy to drive, and that is a great way to get a beginner to come in. So for those of you that run clubs, those of you guys that have home racing, definitely do an iRock class, and that's what you guys would be inviting friends, family, just people you wanna get into the hobby, bring them in through iRock. Let them understand that stuff. And then what's great about it too is you can let your club members, guys that love to build, they will be more than happy to build iRock sets for different groups. So you might have like iRock set of F1 cars if you guys are into open wheelers. You might have an iRock set of Mega G NASCARs or Tyco NASCARs if you love NASCAR. You might have fast stuff, Lexan body. I mean, it's really up to you, but it's a great way. We have a ton of customers that's all they race is iRock. So they will build iRock set after iRock set, and they have them numbered. When they go to the race, everybody brings their iRock sets, they enter them into a hat essentially, pull a number, and it's like, okay, number 6, who's got number 6? It's, you know, Joe over here. Joe has number 6 iRock set. That's the set that you guys are racing first class of the night. So it's a lot of fun. It's a good way to get people that like to build, and it doesn't matter if you're the best builder or the worst builder. The point of iRock is that everybody runs the same car. So really good question. Definitely recommend iRocks. Let's see, Tim said fronts are notorious. Absolutely. Vernon says hi. So thank you guys for watching. I am gonna duck out and go get these cars up front so they can get packaged and on the website, and we'll see you guys later. And for those of you that are watching this that aren't live, if you do have questions, throw them in there. I'll do my best to come back around and say hi. I did see Ronnie's message, what's happening? Your cars are on the way to you. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you later.